Okay, so in this video we're going to use IIS to publish a website from Visual Studio. We're going to need a few things here. First of all, we're going to have to create a directory where our published files are going to sit. So I've opened up my PC. This is just my partition where my files are, and I'm going to create a new folder here which I'm going to call test site 01, and this is going to be the directory where my published files will sit. The next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up IIS, Internet Information Services Manager. I'm going to run this as an administrator, so I'm going to right click on this and run as administrator. It's asking me if I want to update it, which I'm not going to at this stage. So just to maximise this, this is the IIS landing page. On this left hand side I can see my laptop and I can see my existing sites, which I've got a default website as standard in there, which is started and is running on port 80. What I'm going to do for now is I'm going to stop this default website. The reason I'm going to stop it is I'm going to reuse this port 80, and I'll only get a message pop up saying that something else is using port 80 when I create my new site. So I'll stop that for now. I'm going to right click on sites and I'm going to add a new website, which is going to be test site 01. Now the physical path is this folder that I've just created. So I'm going to browse to that location for test site 01. I'm going to OK that. You can see here we're using port 80, which is why I stopped my default site using port 80. Otherwise I would have just got a pop-up at this stage. If I click OK now, it's saying it's assigned to a new site. Do I want to duplicate it? Yes, I do. And we've got it running there, and it's automatically started as test site 01. At this stage I'm just going to go into it. I'm just going to make sure directory browsing is running, which we can see there, the fact that start is grayed out and stop is available, that directory browsing is running. So that's all we need to do on IIS. It's really that simple. Now what I can do is I can open up Visual Studio and I can create a website that I want to publish. For the sake of this, I'm just going to create an empty or a web form site. Let's stick to the same naming just to make it easy. I'm going to call it test site 01, and we're going to automatically create this website. I know Visual Studio refers to everything as projects, but it's a website quite simply. So we're going to create this test site that we're then going to publish, and here we have our web forms website running, where I've got my about page, contacts, defaults, etc. What I'm going to do just for a bit of fun is, if I, on the default page, let's go into design mode, and I'm just going to add something here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a button. I'm just going to drag a button on there. Let's give that a bit of length, and I'm going to add a label. What I want this button to do, I'm just going to change in the properties over here the text on the button to say what is the time, and there we go, and this is my label, which we can see there is label 1. So when I click the button, I want it to show me the current time. So to do that, I'm just going to double click the button and we get our button click event handler pop up. Just going to type into here label 1. IntelliSense is already telling me these things. We want the text to equal date time now, and that's going to be a string value, so to string, and there we go. We've got our button handler now set, and I'm just going to save this project. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to publish this project. So I'm going to go up to the build option here, and I'm going to click on publish website. Now the first thing we've got to do is create a profile. So we're just going to select profile. We call it test site 01, so I might as well stick to the naming. Okay, and the publishing method is going to be a file system publication. So change that to publication and choose the target location. Now this is the location of the folder where we want to publish to. You see at the moment this folder is empty. This is going to be filled with my published website. So I'm just going to direct this now to this folder, and I can go ahead and publish. We don't need to worry about the extra settings here. We're just going to go ahead and publish. In our output we can now see Visual Studio running the publication, and it says published 1 succeeded, 0 failed, 0 skipped. Our website is now published, and we can go ahead and close that down. If we come back to IIS, we can now see in our test site 1 all of those files are now appearing. We can go ahead and minimize that. And finally, if I now open up my browser and direct this browser to http:// the local host, we have now got to our published website with this extra button and label that we added, which if I click on it, the button click event tells me the time now. So you can see this video was made on the 12th of the 12th at 10:04. And that's it. That's all you really need to know about publishing websites using Visual Studio and using Internet Information Services Manager. I hope that's been of use.